Australia has announced a major overhaul of its Defence Department. Defence Chief Richard Marles says he sees the creation of a new delivery agency as a way to deliver greater impact for every dollar spent on defence. Roger Maynard with this report for CNA.
This is being heralded as the biggest reform to Australia's defence force in half a century. It represents a major overhaul in the way Australia procures the hardware it requires to defend its shores, and the projects are delivered on time and on budget. Many will say that it's high time that Canberra addressed the way it spends taxpayers' money on ships, aircraft and land force programs, which have often fallen short when it comes to efficiency and value for money. Faced with a more assertive China and an increasingly unsettled world, it appears politicians and behind-the-scenes boffins had no other choice but to spend their money more wisely. Here's what it means in cold hard facts. The government will merge three sizable branches of the Defence Force into what it calls a new Defence Delivery Agency, which will be responsible for about 40% of the defence budget. This will cover Defence's Capability and Sustainment Group, the Guided Weapons and Explosive Ordnance Group, and the Naval Shipbuilding and Sustainment Group. These sections will report directly to government ministers who will have control over the overall budget. Defence Minister Richard Marles said the reforms will see what he called a much bigger bang for buck as part of Canberra's increases to defence spending of around 70 billion Australian dollars over the next decade. In short, it'll mean the government will make sure it delivers projects within deadline and for a previously agreed price. It all boils down to value for money. After years of reported wastage, Defence Minister Marles said they would focus on delivery and operate in a much sharper fashion. He claimed it would mean that advice comes to government much more early in the process about the challenges facing a particular programme. Defence Industry Minister Pat Conroy insisted that these latest moves would make sure that the record increases in the defence budget will be spent wisely. And that is at the essence of this latest defence overhaul, which comes at a time of massive spending on the AUKUS submarine deal. The money to support that programme has to come from somewhere, and greater efficiency in the way the Defence Force spends its budget is one way. It also comes at a time when the United States wants to see Australia increase its defence spending to 3% of GDP compared to the 2% it outlays at the moment. The AUKUS deal alone will cost an estimated 368 billion Australian dollars over the next decade, and probably much more. These latest moves will send a clear signal to Australia's Asian and Pacific neighbours that Canberra is serious about defending its interests at home and abroad, a commitment that will not go unnoticed by China in these uncertain times. Roger Maynard, CNA, Sydney.